It's great to have you here. I got to ask, how is my hometown of San Diego? I notice you're there and not in LA. Obviously, I'm in London. Feels like maybe we should be roles reversed, but how is San Diego treating you?
San Diego is becoming more and more civilized every day. And you get to meet the strangest and most wonderful people. I spent the first 6 months having an ongoing debate between myself and Japanese scholars who wanted to know why I took so long to study the way they study. And and I said, well, I thought you were already doing it right. And they said, no one's doing it right. And that kind of put a shiver down the back of my neck. And I realized that, yes, no one was doing this correctly. And so I was at St. Anthony's, which is the school at Oxford that receives foreign students. And I found out, not quite a student and not quite a faculty, but I could dip into both. And I learned a lot. I had been a Cambridge lecturer for many years as I came in and out of town. But the day that for instance, the day that I told the cab driver that I was here to see the Queen's reaction to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I had never seen horizontal tears until that minute. And he cried with such passion that they went bing, and they went right to the front window. And he was speechless.
And this is what you said when you got to Oxford to spend your 4 years over here.
Yeah. Yeah. They asked me, do you have a project that we could approve or disapprove of? And I said, yes. And it was in and around the subject of civics. And I had discovered that, unbeknownst to me, civics was not being taught at all. And so how they expected to create a civil society, that was something I was really looking forward to understanding. And I found it, and I found it all over the place. So it was something very cherishable. And I got more out of that first year. So.
And I really want to jump into, the meat of the book and a lot of the thoughts that you have in there. But I think a lot of it seems to be framed with your family history. And I'm wondering if we can maybe touch on that, because, your family emigrated from various parts of Europe. And I know they were all of the American left. And then they had this kind of fascinating journey of like gangs of New York, and they went to the war. And I feel like somehow that DNA is somehow in the book and your thoughts on this. I was wondering if you could speak on kind of the Dreyfuss clan and where they came from, what their values are, and how that shapes your perspective of why we need civics today.
Well, actually, I said to my father when I was in my 20s that sooner or later I knew that I was going to be asked to write an autobiography. And I said, that autobiography will say that I was born in 1881, because that's the year that all of the stories began that really shaped my moral character. And I knew who and why and when And so it was a group effort, and well worth it. Well worth it.
And is it true that your great-great-grandmother was kind of involved in an assassination in Russia, and she kind of had to flee, and there was a lot of excitement and drama in your family? I guess I shouldn't be surprised, knowing you.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there was, I have the rare privilege of being able to say, my great aunt, Helsia Helfman, a member of the Narodnaya Volnya, the will of the people, along with Alexander Lenin, Nikolai's older brother, they assassinated Tsar Alexander in 1881. I'd like to say that again. My great aunt, Helsia, she was an activist, oh boy. And so she came out of the shtetl and popped Alexander. And because of the privileges that came along with his caste and class, he very easily would have been able to get away without selling the prison time or the execution, but he didn't want to. And so he willingly was hung, and Helsia was not, because even the Okhrana, the secret police, even the Okhrana did not kill pregnant women. And so she was exiled to New York. And she went into Ellis Island being Helsia Helfman, and she came out a few minutes later known as Elsie Hoffman, which was the exact name of my grandmother. And my grandmother was Helsia's niece. And if the Irish clerk on Ellis Island had any trouble at all in pronouncing her name, they changed it, and that's what they did. So her Helsia became Elsie, and her Helpman became Hoffman. And so she came in one way and went out the other. And I wish I had known her personally, but I didn't.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.